Hey everybody, what's going on? Jonathan here on my channel Client Guy John. I'm here on a service call, just checking out a few things. One of them being some lights and dimmer, and also some under cabinet lights for this kitchen, which I found possibly the issue with it being a plugged-in type transformer controlled by outlets, but the owner or the realtor, I believe, told me that the switch over here is not working for it. But in any case, we are going to concentrate more on the next item at hand, the breakfast bar GFCI. Now, as you can see here, the GFCI is blinking a red light. What that means is it's either it's not working properly. It's letting me know that it's time to change it. So since it's still live, we're gonna put in my Klein Tools ET310 transmitter for my digital circuit breaker finder. And as you can see, there's still power to it. It's properly wired. We're gonna go to the electrical panel. And with this guy, we're gonna sniff it out. Now, sometimes I get false readings. It happens, so bear with me. It's in a little hidden closet. It took me some time to find it until I realized this wasn't a wall. I thought this was just like decorative wall. It's actually it's a closet. A lot of walk-in space here as well. So let's get a little bit of light in here. All right. So let's get started. I'm gonna start from the top and work our way down. As you can see, it's studying the panel. You got to do it twice. All right. So this is the first sweep. All right. You let it study the panel, and then you go out again. As you can see, you can hear it. Now, once it goes steady red, that means that's your circuit. So let's see if it finds it. Interesting. Steady red. Let's just make sure it's on the other side. All right. Okay, not there. They did label this panel, but I'm not sure if it's correctly labeled because you got a lot of kitchen GFCI outlets. Well, from the looks of it, it's on the hallway lights. So I'm going to shut it off. And I'm going to scan it one more time just to make sure I got the right one. As you can see, it's sniffing out a circuit, or it could be just straight voltage somewhere. I'm going back up. Now, I had some difficulties with this circuit breaker finder, but it looks to me it's on the circuit. So let's take a look. And as you can see, it's still lit. It did shut off some of these lights, so that means it's picking up current. It's either picking up some backfeed current or magnetic field of some sort, but or it could just be the battery. That could be another factor, but we're gonna try and see now. Since that wasn't it, and it basically fooled me, I'm gonna turn it back on. I'm gonna do it one more time. And you see now it's saying kitchen GFCI, so I'm gonna do another sweep. You can do it upside down too. It'll still sniff it out. So let's go slow again. Now it's going back. You see it says hallway lights. That's not it. So now that I know that's not it, I gotta listen to the beep. If it starts to beep rapidly, that means I'm close. It could be here. could be this one. But let's find out. Shut it off. All right, and it turns out that's the one. So you can see, now, word of advice, caution, when using this circuit, digital circuit breaker finder, try to not to use it in commercial applications. Now, it could mean that my battery on this end is dying. That's probably why I'm getting false readings. But other than that, I did go by the second option of just listening to the tone of the tester. And as you can hear, as I was scanning through it, it was starting to slow rapid beeping. So that basically concluded my finding, that circuit. So we're gonna unplug that now. We can check the other ones, even though the other ones do have their own breakers. So this one's got power. Oh, this guy's big. Ooh, that's in the way. This one also has power. Power. It's power. This one's a little bit tough, huh? There you go. That's got power. Got a lot of GFCIs here. Power. That's good. Now this one says GFCI protected outlet. Someone was smart enough to leave a label on there. So let's see if this is related to it. And as you can see, it is related to the breakfast GFCI. So that would mean this device is the end of run of that circuit. Okay, and it protects this GFCI, protects this outlet. And more than likely, it might be just also this GFCI might be protecting that one and the regular outlet, except not the one that says the EAT on it. That's not it. These two. But anyways, I'm gonna remove this and get started. All right. Circuit for that. I don't like to use my screw gun when taking out receptacles. A lot of guys do it. I don't like to. I can more than likely strip the set screws by accident, the mounting screws that it came with. So I like to use my hand tools the old-fashioned way. And this is a Lutron screwless finish plate. It comes with two pieces, the base and then the extra finish plate. And these are very easy to pop out. You just lift either side, anywhere you can lift, and it'll pop out, and then you can just snap them back in. They hardly break. I've not ever experienced them breaking. So, and I like to do is they have the line slot upwards. I like to put the neutral up. It's better that way. I'm more used to doing that. I'm accustomed to doing that. So, and I can explain to you why it is that in some homes, or most homes or commercial buildings, they have the neutral. If you're installing the outlet horizontally, we normally have the neutral slot, the long slot, facing up. And I can explain that to you later on if you guys want to know why that is. So if some of you are curious, I will share that with you. All right. And a lot of electricians will say, "Oh yeah, it doesn't matter." Yeah, I just do it. It's good practice. So, okay, so they bonded. They got an equipment ground bonded to the box. Perfect, because they have BX or Armor Cable 12.2. Armor Cable 12.2, or most people call it BX. They don't have an equipment grounding conductor, so the jacket itself, the armor jacket, is listed as an equipment ground. So this doesn't necessarily need it, but it's optional. You could put it there, just for safety, because that way the device is always bonded and grounded to the box. So let's take out the tape. Let's take this off here. I do have a GFCI. I have one with me. Let's see if now this will work. And this is all custom furniture. So they must have had a really good carpentry contractor do this. So this is a weather resistant, tamper resistant commercial GFCI. This is 15 amps. Normally, if it was me, I don't like to put 15 amp GFCIs in kitchens, okay? Because you could, I mean, maybe for something like this, you can put it because people are just plugging in stuff. But since it's a countertop, you can even have the possibility of wanting to plug in multiple appliances. So I prefer putting 20 amp GFCIs and only 15 amps in bathrooms. So yeah, but this is New York City. You can still pass inspection with a 15 amp GFCI in the kitchen as long as it's GFCI protected. I personally, if I'm going to put it to a 20 amp circuit breaker, I like to just put it onto a I just like to match it with the breaker and just put a 20 amp device. Now, receptacles, I mean, here in New York City, you can put a 15 amp regular duplex receptacle or single receptacle on a 20 amp breaker. That's okay. You know, you still pass inspection here. But for me, I like to put a 15 amp breaker. Unless like for TVs, I like to dedicate them, you know, or just put, if it's going to be a quad receptacle type of location for near the TV, I put 20 amp receptacles because you never know if the customer or the homeowner or the renter or whatever is going to plug in like heavy equipment, you know, like just like an amp, like an amplifier or something like that. All right, let me get this. They put a stranded ground, but I'm gonna put a solid because I just get a better connection. Just get a better solid connection to that. Let's see if I have one in my bag here. I know I did. I saw it in here. Let's see if I can find it. What I like to do also is, there it is. I got it right here at the bottom of my bag. I love to put use these ground tails. They're very good, very useful. I like to get them longer because in some instances, like for instance, this box is pretty deep. It's more than 1/8 of an inch in the wall in this partition here in the cabinet. So normally I like to use a 12-inch or almost a foot long, no, technically an 8-inch or 10-inch long ground with a ground screw and bonded. That way, you know, you can still have enough room because of the depth, you know. But in this instance, this also will need what we call goof rings, but they're called device box extensions, required by New York City code to do that when you have the boxes too deep, more than 1/8 of an inch in the surface of the cabinet or where it's being mounted, and you have to cover that gap with that device extension ring or goof ring, as we call it. Some of us call it. So it's always good to do that. I don't know if this place is getting inspected. It looks like this is a furnished apartment, but there's only like TVs and such. Oh, this just kind of moved a little bit. They didn't really set this device, this box, properly. I don't know why. It's just it is what it is. Like I said, I don't know if it's getting inspected. I can ask the owner or the realtor. I think it's the realtor that's trying to sell it or rent it out. And as you see, I think I cross-threaded the screw. Oh boy, yeah, I might have, no, maybe, I don't know. I can't really tell this angle, but yep, looks like I got it in. All right, right in the same screw hole. And now, as you can see, it comes up short. It's got to be 6 inches. So if you want to know how to do 6 inches and you can't tell, you don't want to take out a tape measure, it's got to come out from the surface of where the box is inside the wall, and the wires have to come at least 6 inches from the surface of the wall or partition. So as you can see, if you, I rule of thumb, do this, and you got your 6 inches right there. That's roughly around 6 inches or more. That's okay. You're good. All right. You want to have that little extra in here. So here's the old device. It's done. We're gonna see if the new one will work out. And it also comes with, these commercial style also come with their own cover plate, but since we're not using this, we're gonna be reusing the Lutron face screwless faceplate. So with these commercial style ones, there's normally, in the residential ones, you'll have a sticker. This one doesn't have it because this is a commercial style. The residential ones, I call them residential, they have a red test button and a black test button. And if you you have some residentials that have all white too, that's fine with the sticker on the load side normally to tell you not to wire it there. You have to wire it on the line side. If you're protecting other outlets, you wire it at the load side to protect other devices. But this has to be the very first point from the breaker. All right, so in any case, this is the end of line. So obviously this is GFCI protected. What I mean by end of line, if there's 2 wires in the box or just the equipment ground, or 3 wires, if you have MC, and there's no pigtails or anything, that's your end of run circuit or end of run device. All right, so this is the end of run, and I'm going to connect it just to the line sides. So first things first, we do our ground. So I'm going to trim this back a little bit. All right. Normally I don't like to use a Phillips, but I like to set it with the Phillips and then take my slotted screwdriver because it has better torque to it, and just tighten down. Now this one clamps on. You can wrap the ground to it, that's fine, whichever works. And you back wire these devices. You could do side wiring, looping, but it's strongly recommended. If you see these, it's designed to be back wired, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a clamp that clamps onto it really well. Don't make hooks on these because it becomes very difficult to tuck the wire and the device back in. And in some cases, if you have a tight cut-in box like this, in here, some cases these boxes kind of warp in, they bow in a little bit, and if you shove it in and it's all hooked, like looped, you may, have tape on it. It may mar the tape to the point it exposes the wire, and then you can have an arc and a ground fault. So I like to just back wire them. It makes life a little bit much easier, less complicated. So at this point, I'm going to straighten out my wire. Now this looks like 14 gauge. Kind of feels like it, but it's not. It's 12. It's just an older insulation. And what I like to do is I fold my wires like in an accordion-like manner, and I bend it like so. So since I'm going to have my neutrals going up, sorry, my fingers are a little dirty, so I'm getting the new outlet dirty now. Great. I like to do it like that. Just give it a little accordion type fold. So I'm going to tie that in. Also, you might want to do the ground too, because your equipment ground, it's got to kind of fold in a way with it. So here we go. Pop it in. Make sure also your wire, the copper is completely in and not sticking out. And then I'm just going to tilt it over. It's a little of a tight spot here, but I can get it in. There you go. Got it. All right, now clamp this down. So this is the line side. You want to tie the line side in. Okay, you can pigtail and just do line sides only on the GFCI daisy chain them, or you can just go in. You can go into the line and into the load. It's, it's optional. personally, I like to run 2 circuits for appliances, right? You got for GFCIs, but I like to run microwave appliance, oven / stove, and refrigerator as well. I like to dedicate these appliances because I don't like that they share circuits. I know some of you may think, oh, it's okay, you know, in New York City you can share a refrigerator circuit with the stove and it doesn't pull that much. Sure, but if something goes wrong with the stove, especially if it's a 120 electric range, they do make 120 electric range ones, I wouldn't recommend tying it on the same circuit as the microwave or the refrigerator. Just keep it dedicated. I keep the gas ones dedicated. That's just how I do, you know. I try to make it more convenient for the person who is going to be living in the unit, in the home, or in the apartment. All right, so now I've basically now folded my wires in an accordion-like state, and I'm just gonna, see, and it easily goes in, but before I actually complete it, I gotta wrap it up with tape. Now, I don't have black. Normally I use black electrical tape, but red will do. If you got blue, you can use blue. It's not a big deal. The next thing I'm gonna do next, after I tape this up, is I'm going to remove these existing mounting screws because it does not reach inside the surface of the wall. Okay. So how I do that? Well, I use my impact and I just basically slowly, well, you have a self-grounding tab so you can actually push the wire out, and I like to save them, put in my bag and I save them. They come in very handy. If one of them comes loose like that one and it has a little grommet, hold on to that. You may want to use it on the new or the existing screws. So that's what I'm using. I'm reusing these screws, and this little grommet catches it. Now I dropped another. Oh, here it is. Drop that screw. Now, just sit my tool pouch right there. I love the Milwaukee tool pouches. It came with the whole rig, and it's for it's an electrical tool pouch rig setup. This is part of it. And I like that it has a handle and it stands up. Awesome tool pouch. I have the other tool pouches, a much bigger size that holds more capacity, but this one is my favorite one because I get the whole, you know, the other one has the same feature, but it's just bigger and wider. I don't use it all the time, the whole rig set, only if I'm on certain jobs where it requires that if I'm doing a rough-in, I'll put the rigger on, electrician's tool belt rig, and get where, you know, start going ham. All right, so here we go. Gonna put these back on. I love this impact because of the lights. The lights really help out, especially when I'm doing this. Now, notice I didn't go all the way because I just set it, then I just do the rest by hand. This is custom cabinetry, so I want to be very careful when doing so. And just make enough right there. Normally, in custom cabinetry, they'll cut out the box for you. I like to do it myself before they put it up. All they gotta do is make a measurement, mark it. I'll do it myself. I like to leave a little notch for the mounting screws for the faceplate, and leaving no space in the back, because if you don't, it'll backseat it and push the device out. But right now, I'm putting it back on, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Especially when it comes to, okay, that's not so bad. It's not that tight, but I can see that my screw is backing out a little bit, but it's fine. It's not gonna go anywhere. Just face cover. Especially when it comes to tile putting these in, you may want to get the tile guy to kind of notch a hole for the mounting screw for your faceplate, your finish plate. All right, so now that it's in, it's a little dirty. All right, that's fine. it's in. It's gonna just snap it back on, and we're gonna put power back onto it. Okay, it's this guy right here. All right, it's on. All right, guys, so as you can see, when you put these commercial type GFCIs, you're always gonna get two lights. You're gonna get a red and a green. Now, in order for that to not be shown, some people think, oh, there's something wrong with it. No, you just hit the reset button. And then you get all green, and you got power. All right, and that's it for that one. So we're gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to the next one. So I'll see you guys on the next video.